So the first part in mastering Facebook's algorithm is to understand how the numbers work and to be in a position where you're able to define your KPIs and you're able to set the targets that you're working on. So really, one of the most important things that I see a lot of people missing out is the need to invest in learning. So the first part of understanding what KPIs to set and what expectation to set is the different phases that people go through when it comes to testing, profiting, building stability, scaling, and ultimately growing their business. So if you look at this green curve here, every business that starts with Facebook ads for the first time will end up losing some money. How far that curve continues in time comes down to your experience and ability to learn from the numbers and to make changes and adapt those losses into profits. So from day zero, let's say you spend $1,000, $100, $10, whatever it is, you'll always go into the negative, and your goal is to obviously bring that back into profits as soon as possible. And when you're into the profits position, you want to create stability whilst you're increasing your profits. So if you're spending $100 a day and you're making $50, that $50 over time becomes $100, $150, etc. So you want stable profitability first, and then comes scaling. Now, when scaling happens and you're now starting to take that $100 to $200 to $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 to $5,000, quite often it's profitability that you lose and therefore stability. Then the goal is to bring that stability back with those higher spends and then bring back growth. And that's a big part of what we cover off in this training. But the other curve to understand is the curve of revenue. From the point of running your ads, when you bring that first sale in, doesn't matter what you're selling, that's when revenue starts hitting a positive. And when that happens depends on how well your ad account is performing. But when you're building stability, that revenue is still growing until you start to hit scale and you're spending more and more money. Then as you start to plateau out and you want to optimize, and obviously revenue doesn't grow as fast, but the growth of your revenue doesn't always match the growth of your profits. And it's really important to understand because, first of all, a lot of entrepreneurs, marketers, business owners are self-funding. So if you're self-funding and Facebook is allowing you to do that, then you really need to keep a close eye on your profitability. Profitability is not just simply taking how much revenue you've made and taking away your ad spend, but it's also taking away the cost of goods. For e-com, it's a bigger challenge than, let's say, digital or info, and then any other costs associated. So, when you go down into business planning, you're looking at staffing costs, technology costs, whatever kind of associated fixed and variable costs that go into running a business. They all come into calculating your kind of gross and net profit numbers to look at your ultimate profit. But right now, I'm just looking at the profit from the advertising. That will depend on how quickly you're able to get your wins. And that's how we've structured the BPM method to reduce the time it takes to create profit by doing the work up front and enable you to grow profit and revenues together. So it's a really important part to think about as we go through the program of why we're able to do this a lot faster and how you can take that away as well.